Happy Sunday! This is Dr. Amona Washington from Mgmt3310, Managerial Communications, Wayland Baptist University, VC02. I am here today with your Week 3 discussion feedback. Overall, a good job. However, many of you are still missing out on valuable points because you are not responding to at least one other student per discussion question. You have 2 discussion questions and you must respond to at least one other student per discussion question. So please ensure that you are doing that because you're missing out on valuable points. Overall, this week was not as engaging as last week, and I will take the fall on that because it was not posted early, but I did give you extra time. Moving forward, I think week 4 is much better, but I will probably post week 4's feedback middle of the week, and then moving forward to the end, I will be back on track. For week 5, we're midway. You have 1 discussion question, and you will have to respond to 1 student to earn the full participation points. So you have 1 question, and you only have to respond to 1 student. Week 3, overarching themes were all pretty much the same. We realized that businesses are using social media, IM, and texting in a business capacity, employees and consumers. We realize that there are still risks, hacking, security. There are things that we need to be mindful of. Overarching as a manager, my tips are ensure that the line between professionalism and casual chatting in a business environment over IM and texting is still being used by you. The examples are spelling and grammar, and even though it's an IM or a text, that does not excuse us from the pleasantries. Good morning, good afternoon, please, and thank you. Sometimes, because we are focused and we need answers right away in the business environment, we tend to skip the introductions and the salutations. And I think in a professional environment, it's still very important that we use those. So don't forget. Let me look. I was reading an article that Facebook is moving in a different direction. The CEO said that he wants to give people the power to build communities. I can't remember the exact number, but he has a goal that he wants to have of people engage in meaningful Facebook groups. That is just a testament of how social media is being used to connect people. Talked about texting and blurred lines. Someone talked about the good news and the bad news. The good news is social media allows consumers to interact with the organization. That's the good news. So a consumer can send a glowing report. The bad news is social media allows consumers to interact with the business. I can't remember. Let me see. Who said it? Cody talked about Yelp, business risk, negative publicity. Yelp is a very popular website. I know I use it to see what other consumers are saying, especially restaurants. When I purchase something on Amazon or Zappos, I go and read the reviews. That's important. And we know that, well, on Amazon, it will say verified reviews because there were companies that were making make-believe reviews, saying that this was great and those things. So now we have the verified reviews. And again, that could be positive or negative. Michael, great post when you talked about the intellectual property. Great post because, as we all know, that's typically something we don't think about. So good job. Laura, you're absolutely right. Laura, you talked about saving organizations money because think about the marketing you are saving by using some of the social media. Whereas years ago, you would have to use billboards and newspapers and articles, and now Facebook and LinkedIn, things with all the ads. Like you mentioned, someone else mentioned that the ads are what makes Facebook so much money. So it's true. Think about how much money an organization can save. Rick also talked about inviting customer input. Gregorio, thank you for sharing that article in Adweek. Very interesting. I love it when you guys are sharing information and resources. It's awesome. This solidifies the learning and it keeps us connected. Deborah, you made a good point. Companies risk the branding with social media because, and someone else mentioned, who else mentioned that it's unforgiving? I can't remember. Oh, Natalie. Natalie said that the internet can be very unforgiving, and you're absolutely right. Because with the internet, it can always reappear. So it's more than just etched in our mind. We may forget, but it can reappear. So yes, the internet can be very unforgiving. Clinton, you said something that made me really think. You talked about less tech-savvy consumers. That can be a negative. I will tell you a story that happened to me not too long ago. I was speaking to a student, and she mentioned that she wanted to, or she was pursuing entrepreneurship. And I said, "Oh, great! What is your business?" And she told me her business is she makes cakes. So we were talking about the cakes, and I said, "Well, I'm having an event in a couple of weeks. I'll buy a cake from you. Send me some information on the type of cakes that you have." She said, "Fine." I gave her my email. Well, she responded with her Instagram name, and that was it. Check out my Instagram for the types of cakes. Well, I don't have an Instagram. I didn't respond. A day later, she sent me an email saying she knew that I was busy, and she sent me pictures of the cakes. And I responded and let her know, great job, because I would not, I got busy, so I probably would not have reached back out to her. But I explained to her, when you are in business, you need to understand that everyone does not have or use access to all types of social media. And therefore, for a business, you need to use more than one. And so it was a learning lesson for her. Moving forward, one of these days, I'll get an Instagram. Rosanna, absolutely. You talked about we always have to be mindful of the risk. We can become so complacent and so comfortable with using IM and texting and social media. We still run risk. We have to always be mindful of that. I think I mentioned this. Andrea said too, the double-edged sword, where social media allows us to connect with our customers, and then it allows us to connect with our customers. It could go either way. Joshua, thank you for sharing that Joshua's statistic says that 65% of the population in the U.S. use social media, and 90% for 18 to 29-year-olds in our country. That is a lot, 90%. Wow. Michael, congratulations to your son. He graduated, and great point, great example, the car buying. You can look at pictures, you can see the VIN. I remember not too long ago, I was purchasing a car, and I was able to get the VIN, and then I bought, I can't remember, maybe it was 3 months or something, subscription to Carfax. I was able to, as I was looking for different cars, kept the VIN, use it with the Carfax, and get that information, saving me time and money before even pursuing. Because if I received a Carfax and I saw that I was personally looking for a car that didn't have more than 2 owners. So when I did the Carfax and it came back with 3 owners, I could immediately cross that off my list. So absolutely great example. And I think the other arching theme that we all acknowledge is the social media can be a distraction. It can be a distraction, so we have to be mindful of that in the business world. Well, I want to thank you so very much. I hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday, and I will see you next time. And thank you for the positive feedback. I, too, am enjoying using this modality to connect with you and to share. And hopefully, as I am saying names, you are reading the post and you feel more connected. So hopefully I can say that I am having a very good experience with this. Hope you guys have a wonderful week. Bye now.